Schluss, da kann speaking this gewaltige machen teuer. My father holds of the Kollel of Avram. He speaks of him so highly. He says told me tell that the island never is so lucky that he's like to be such a machen teuer from the gewaltige. He feels very close with the Rav and it's gewaltige Schluss. Let's say something about the 3 weeks. The steht in the Gemara in Yuma, the Testament Beis, that Mikdash Rishon mipnei machoyav negimel dvarim shehoyu boy avoid the zora the gilarayis v'shrichas damim. That the first base of Mikdash was nechyav because they had gimel avayis. That's the Gemara, and it says the second base of Mikdash was nechyav. It says aval Mikdash sheni shoyu oiskim b'toy v'mitzvus gemius chasadim nei machoyav nei shehoyse boy sinas chinam. Because that's sinas chinam. So the question is, as you know, from my father, he tells it that the Gemara in the Dorm of Peyalev says that the Gemara brings the pasuk from Yirmiyah and Ish hachacham v'yoven zois dovas initial chachamim ul neviyim v'loy pishu ad shepishu pishu HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'atzmoi. Why was the Beis Mikdash nechyav? Zok the Gemara Amir of Yehuda Amir Rav shloy bichu b'toyer tchila. Says the Pshat shloy bichu b'toyer tchila. Says different Pshatim. The Ram learns the Pshat is that they were machshir the Torah, so Mela didn't make the bracha. But it says in the Gemara the Pshat the reason why the Beis Mikdash was nechyav was shloy bichu. They didn't learn Torah. Shloy bichu b'toyer tchila. After bichu b'toyer tchila. So the Shaila is how did both Gemara stem? The Gemara over this says the reason why the Beis Mikdash was nechyav is because it's gimel averis chamuris, because gilarayis shvichas damim and avodah zarah, and over here it says that's lebechu b'toyer tchila. So the Chassid Yavitz in Avis, Mesechtes Avis says he says it gives a mashal that there was a king that had somebody that worked for him, a musician. He said he used to play the finest, the nicest music. Was not shaykh to hear such music. It was half of felt to hear this music. And he did a very one time. He connected the Melech, and they were supposed to be geyser that he should to hang him. But the Melech said he has such beautiful music, such nice music. So I want to hear his music. So he kept him. Didn't do anything. The Melech kept him alive. Then a few years later, this musician made a promise. He's not playing any more music. Finished, done with the music. Finished, he's not playing anymore for the king. So right away, the king killed him. He killed him. So the king said the pshat is that really before he did Aveyus, that he was supposed to kill him right away. But he wanted to hear his music. So he kept him alive. So says the Chassid Yavitz, the pshat is avade b'yisoid. The pshat is that Klal Yisrael did gimel Aveyus. Klal Yisrael did the chaton of Zara, Shvichas Dama, Gilarayis. But the Eibishter told the Klal Yisrael, the pshat is, but our Torah, the Torah is music to the Eibishter. The Eibishter is gewaltige nachas ruach da von unserer Torah, und that's music for the Eibishter. So the Eibishter kept us alive. But once it was like bichu b'Torah tchila. Once the pshat is Klal Yisrael, the pshat is they stopped learning Torah. The pshat is then already we killed out the Beis Mikdash was nechyav. The pshat is out the gimel avayus. So the question is, the pshat is that's a Beis Rishon. The pshat is a Beis Sheni. It says the reason why Beis Mikdash was nechyav was because of sinas chinam. Of the Tosefta, the Yishalmi, it says the pshat is that Beis Sheni, Klal Yisrael was oisik b'Torah. They learned Torah. The Gemara is mashma also. They were oisik b'Torah. They learned Torah. So the question is that nach after the Chassid Yavitz, the pshat is that even the Beis Rishon, be'etzem, they did Aveir that the Beis Mikdash shouldn't have been nechyav. But because of the Torah, because the Eibishter liked the Torah, it was like music for Eibishter, Smeila, the Eibishter kept the Beis Mikdash. So why in Beis Sheni the pshat didn't we have this chus Torah? If Klal Yisrael was oisik b'Torah, so even if there was sinas chinam though, but we should have been nitzal. The pshat Beis Mikdash should have been nitzal as the koich Torah. So my father said, the Shiva said over the pshat is that the Maral says, Arichas, but he said the pshat is as why was it that the first Beis Mikdash was nechyav out the gimel avayus, and the second Beis Mikdash as sinas chinam. So says the Maral, the pshat is that the first Beis Mikdash was b'schut ha'avas, the gimel avot. The pshat is Avram, Yitzchak, Yankel. So he goes through the pshat is that these three Aveyas from Shvichas Damim, Gedareis and Avodah Zarah was each one was connected. Avram b'schus HaChesed, and that's Shvichas Damim, and Yitzchak was Kedusha, Yankov was. He goes through the pshat is the middle. Once about the whole schut of the Beis Mikdash was b'schut Avot. The pshat is the middle. Once they did the Gimel Aveyas, so that was connected. That was menaged this schut of Avot. The Beis Mikdash should have been nechrav. But he said the schut of the Bayis Sheni was b'schut Knesset Yisrael. The pshat was b'schut Knesset Yisrael. That was the schut that we had. The second Beis Mikdash was b'schut Klal Yisrael. Tzmeil sagt the Maral. The pshat is as once the pshat is there was sinas chinam, so there was a period in Klal Yisrael. Tzmeil we lost the pshat is the whole schut of the Beit HaMikdash. The whole schut of the Beis Mikdash Sheni was b'schut Klal Yisrael, b'schut Knesset Yisrael, and Knesset Yisrael means the achdus of ganz Klal Yisrael. If the pshat is if there's a period, everybody's for himself, everybody's for Yachad. Hearing from the Rav before, the pshat is that everybody's for himself. There's no achdus. There's no achdus. The pshat is the middle of the second Beis Mikdash from Nechrav. So my father wanted to say the pshat is that the only time Shaykh Vita HaKadosh Baruch Hu was the pshat is as if it was as the Gimel Aveyot. The pshat is as Avodah Zarah Shvichas Damim. That was the Oynish. That was because of the Oynish for Klal Yisrael. So for Oynish, so that the Eibishter said, you know what, they deserve Oynish, but such geschmack, the music from Klal Yisrael, the Torah from Klal Yisrael is so geschmack. So I'm going to let Klal Yisrael stay. But the second Beis HaMikdash was b'schut Knesset Yisrael. The pshat is made of the sinas chinam. So we lost the whole essence of the Beis HaMikdash. It wasn't a oynish for Klal Yisrael. It wasn't Torah oynish for Klal Yisrael. It was what Beis HaMikdash was when there's an actus of Yisrael, like the Goyin says. The pshat is v'yikli truma b'lev kol echad v'echad. He says the side of Mikdash is mokim hiskantzus halavavis. The pshat, that's where the whole Klal Yisrael comes together. And Meila, it was the pshat is when Nidus Halev, when Klal Yisrael gave the Nedava for the Mishkan, for the Mikdash, when the Divas Halev, that was the place where all the Levavas of Klal Yisrael were in the Mikdash. That's the Makam in Mikdash. So Meila, if there was Sinat Chinam, so the pshat is so it was missing in this Sachtas from ganz Klal Yisrael. So Meila wasn't Shaykh Mikdash. It wasn't Shaykh Mikdash. Meila everything didn't pass. What wasn't Shaykh to say the pshat is that they were learning Torah, the Meister they were learning Torah. Because the whole Yisrael Mikdash was a Makam of Achdus Yisrael, a Makam of ganz Klal Yisrael, b'schut Knesset Yisrael. And if the pshat is if there's a period, if there's sinas chinam, so wasn't Shaykh to Beis HaMikdash. If I said over Ramban, a Moedik Ramban, it says that the list week's passion the pshat is that by that God with the Reuven and God, the pshat Chatzi Shev Menashe came to Moshe Rabbeinu that they wanted to live in Eva Yarden. So what would have been with Eva Yarden if they would not came? What would have been if the computer, the whole Klal Yisrael would have got it? They would have got it. Ramban says a word to Kazakh. He says the pshat is that if they wouldn't have came, ganz Klal Yisrael would have been biyachad in Eretz Yisrael, because the Eibishter wanted that ganz Klal Yisrael should live together. The pshat is live yeshuvim biyachad. The pshat is when there's achdas of Klal Yisrael, that the pshat is that they should live together. And he said the pshat that Moshe Rabbeinu sent Chatzi Shevet Menashe. Why did he send Chatzi Shevet Menashe? They didn't come. So he said the pshat is as the Netziv says, Mordechai Zach says, because the Chatzi Shevet Menashe they were b'nei Torah. They learned a lot of Torah. So the pshat he says Torah, that's a ma'achid from ganz Klal Yisrael. That's a ma'achid. So the pshat now we have to be ma'achid. The Yidden that went to Eva Yarden together with the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. The pshat now we need a bazunda koich HaTorah, extra koich HaTorah. So the pshat the koich HaTorah, that's ma'achid that brings together ganz Klal Yisrael. So it's Taka Mordechai Zachto, this man, the pshat is was this man of 3 weeks, the gewaltige man was in the Kollel is gewaltige chizuk of Torah, gewaltige chizuk of Torah, and Torah that's ma'achid, that's gewaltige ma'achid. The pshat is the same Gemara that we're learning over here, we're learning the Lakewood, they're learning in Eretz Yisrael, that's ma'achid ganz Klal Yisrael, and everybody feels together. It all comes from the koich HaTorah though, that all comes from the koich HaTorah. The gewaldige ichud that he feels with the kehilo, the Rav said he has a special chabura with the Yotze Iranians. The pshat is that feels every Wednesday night he says a special vat for them, special chabura. feels, but it's all the koich the Torah. Everybody's begachad the koich the Torah. So this taka this man taka to work on avat chinam, and the oifen that we do it is pshas mechazik and Torah, and that's the biggest oifen. The pshas is how we ma'achad ganz Klal Yisrael together. It's gewaltig schus. Thank the Rav again. The pshas is a schus to come say a few words over here, and the gewaltige chivus that the Yeshiva and Lakewood what he has for the Rav and for this gewaltige makom Torah, it's gewaltige schus. And taka zoiche sein zu bauen. Bin ich bei Mikdash from Hebi and Meinu Amen.
If there is a Kollel here, you should know that the Kollel is here because of Chavri Kollel that they learn in Friend Yeshiva, in Baltimore, in Lakewood. All of these people that they learn there, they produce to have Kollel. You have to understand the Kollel doesn't just come about just like that. And there are work of some people behind the scene that they work so hard for this Chavri Kollel to develop, to become what they become, and to come to the communities and help the Sibur. And Revolution, the Yeshiva of Lakewood took upon, as his son said, that to deal with the Persian, to be with them, to guide them, and that's the zechut. That all community to have such a merit and zechut, to be connected to such a Adam Gadol. Adam is not just Gadol in Torah; he has passion for Torah, passion for Klal Yisrael, and that's a very important zechut and merit. And his son has a yeshiva also. That would be very, very good, and would be to show our hakarat to his father, what he does for Persian community. If anybody could help, the Rav, to continue and to be matzriach in whatever that he's doing, and if we sign our hakarat also to the Rosh Yeshiva, anybody would like to help with Hashem, and with Hashem, they have to make more connection between Kollel and Lakewood, and to do many things, many projects in the community. This Persian community needs a lot of help. For Hashem, you see the community and go and give report to your father. Yeah. You have to train, more Chavri Kollel to come and help. We need Baruch Hashem. We need more schools. We need more Torah, more Avodah, more Kollel, more Chavri Kollel. To Baruch Hashem, there are close to 100,000 Persian Jews here. 100,000 Persian Jews, and they're all over. And we need them, and B'ezrat Hashem, this shaykhut and connection and what your father does with the Chavri Kollel in Lakewood is very meaningful. Therefore, if anybody could be helpful, it's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for your time. I know that you have just a little bit time, and you came to see the Kollel, to see very meaningful for us. Thank you very much. Thank you.